Made no difference. Well, today's a bit different. This whole series has been DIY so far. Today we get the beauty of having someone else work on the truck for me. We're going to be doing suspension and GVM upgrade, and that is something I can't do. Obviously there's engineering involved. There's also quite a few things that there's quite a few myths around this pre-Rego and after Rego. So we're getting treated like royalty here.
Yeah, this place is pretty cool. It's actually bigger than I ever thought it was. So we're really keen for someone else to work on it, and Adam's out of the shed today. We're just going to lap this up.
Watch someone work on the truck, have a few beers this afternoon with the boys from All 4x4.
Yeah. So
let's get into it, see how this whole process works, what suspension we're using, and what is achievable when doing GVM, GCM after Rego. Let's do it.
It's just another piece of the puzzle.
It is.
Oh my God.
Okay, I've got a spare.
What have you done?
Oh my God. It's awkward and it's painful. Wiring sucks. Sucks.
What?
Okay, now you got to say something funny.
Welcome, guys. I'm Willem.
Hey, yeah, mate.
Good,
Alex.
Good day.
Wow, like a kid in a candy store here. I didn't realise these guys did spare parts as well as all these new accessories. There's a lot in here, it's a lot to take in, and this could be a very expensive day for SGS Garage. Am I good to go, Megs, with the wallet?
You've got a limit.
You like those?
Yes.
Is that for the beer? I reckon these would actually be really good having the canopy. Music is very important when you're camping. We love our music, and we listen to all types of music.
What is it? I actually don't know what it is.
It's just a kick-ass stereo.
Oh.
Look at it, and it makes cool lights. Who doesn't like that? So yeah, these guys really do all the accessories. They have a workshop to work on your vehicle, also to fit the accessories, and then the other half of the business is also the spare parts, which we have done some videos on before. So it's nearly time to get the ute in onto the hoist and get this suspension fitted, and we'll get the professionals to explain how the whole thing works. GVM, GCM, how to get it fitted, the engineering process. That's what I'm really excited about. Finally clear up all this murky water around these GVM, GCM upgrades, and we'll talk them into giving us some more accessories. They don't know that yet. We'll see how we go. Let's do it. Before we get the suspension done on the ute, we got Peter here. Peter, you're the brains behind it all.
I'm one of them.
Yeah,
there's many.
I thought I'd get a giggle out of that. Pete's going to show us right through the operation, and it is quite massive. So
from humble beginnings, there's over 90 of us now. We've got a really talented team. So yeah, come on through.
Awesome.
You'll see lots of cool touches like this.
I like that.
Lots of cool touches like that.
So we come in here earlier, and I went shopping on your account in here.
Yeah,
There's
good.
lots of cool stuff in here. We
on my account.
Yeah, on Pete's account.
Thank you.
Thanks for that.
The armrests over there, I really like those.
We do.
The new ones.
This is the customer refuel room.
So you give free beers out?
Bottle shops across the road.
This is for 79 series owners that only know how to colour in.
We've got the engines, the table here, so that's us. Like, we're all about the nuts and the bolts.
I have noticed that there's a lot of nice little touches for a workshop, like the camshafts down on the door.
Yeah, okay,
Like
you're
that.
seeing that.
That's
Not
nice.
many people notice that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, I could do that.
You're
I like
switched
it.
on. There's your camshaft door handle that you like.
Put them on the bedroom door.
This is Sol, he's going to help you out a bit later.
So I was going to explain how the GVM works.
We'll come back later.
Yes, really put some myths to bed, mate.
Down the back there's a machine shop. there's typically 4 or 5 guys just packing orders every day. Orders go on all over the country, all over the world. In any one month, we'll send to 25 different countries. Today, there'll be over 300 parcel movements leave here.
Wow, that's a headache.
In this phone room, 200 calls, over 200 calls.
Oh, nice.
On a Monday, which is our busiest day, in total there'll be over 700 calls taken.
Wow.
We've got probably 10 of those on the shelf. It's a bypass pipe for a Hilux, and you probably wouldn't find anyone with one on the shelf in the country. We do the whole range.
All parts.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Which is important with Land Rovers especially.
Toyotas too, don't worry about that.
Fair enough. They're all the same. They're all nuts and bolts.
Yeah, for sure.
Very good. There's one there. I recognise what that's about. So if I'm right, these bushes, once they wear out, are nearly impossible to get out without cutting the arm.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And so they just replace the whole thing, and it's efficient to do so from the workshop's perspective.
Yep.
Really popular with our mining customers.
So a Prado is pretty, Prado.
Yeah.
So they're quite bad for it, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's a bit of a design. There's a Toyota. I'm picking on Toyota finally. So that is a pretty bad design flaw when you think that rubber bush is probably worth an 8 to the price of the whole arm.
It
but
is.
the time involved in doing it.
Yeah, and you can damage the arms trying to press bushes in and that sort of thing. And
Yep.
for the workshop techs, they just want to swap it out.
Yeah.
Move on.
It's cheaper and easier.
Yeah. See the pink pallets? They're GVMs.
Oh yeah.
So there's about 30 GVMs here waiting to get fitted.
That gives the game away of what brand we're using.
It does. It sure does.
So you guys do a fair few Lovell's GVM upgrades?
We're top 5 in Australia.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So yeah, we do a stack of them. CV joints, winches, towing mirrors, Landcruiser steering rod, so they bend quite regularly on a mining site.
Yeah, right.
So bull bars, when bull bars turn up, we get them straight out of the packaging and we look for scratches,
Oh yeah.
and then we put them in these purpose-built bags to
Yeah,
protect them.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, well, when we get a customer in, they've travelled some distance like yourself, you've travelled 3 hours to be here, and then we drop the vehicle off, and some other people, other accessory fitters will just at that point open up the box and, oh, look at that, it's scratched. Let's
Yep.
give it a bit of a polish and move it on, sort of thing. You don't want surprises like that, you know. So
Yeah.
by the time you get here, we know that the condition of the bull bar, for instance, is spot on. So
That's something that not a lot of people would do. You leave it in the box because it's safe, but then it could be damaged before it goes in.
and that's what happens.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Truck's up on the hoist. We got Sol here to try and get rid of all these myths around a GVM and GCM upgrade, in particular after Rego, as we're doing it right here. Sol, what is the biggest difference between doing a GVM GCM upgrade or Rego versus after Rego?
Yeah.
And why is it not that big a deal to do it after Rego?
Yeah, cool. It's a really common misconception. The biggest thing doing it pre-registration is what they call a federal compliant GVM upgrade, which means the vehicle doesn't have to have an engineer certificate associated with it.
Yep.
It gets a compliance sticker on the door, which means if the vehicle were ever to get transferred to a different state for registration, it's a lot easier of a process. Having the vehicle done after the vehicle's registered, it goes for what they call a state compliant GVM upgrade. Therefore, it needs an engineer certificate. So that engineer certificate needs to be licensed engineer in New South Wales, and it still means the vehicle is legal to operate anywhere in Australia with its GVM and GCM upgrade.
With the original owner in the original state, which is New South Wales for us.
Yep.
So there is probably the only real limitation I can see after Rego would be to sell the vehicle into Queensland. They can get it re-engineered for the GVM, but not the GCM, is that right?
Correct, yeah. Okay. So in Queensland, they don't abide by the same law as New South Wales and other states, so you can lose your GCM upgrade if it were to get, registration transferred to Queensland and then get re-engineered.
Yeah, so Look, there is a little bit of a benefit to doing it pre-rego, but the major disadvantage is most car yards will not want you to do this. It's a real headache and just a nightmare to try and get the car unregistered, to get the suspension fitted, get it passed, and then back to the dealer. And then they also leaves a grey area for how they warrant the vehicle. So I know if I had to ask my dealer this time to do this pre-rego, they flat out would have told me no. And the headache of doing it's not worth, you know, the extra benefit for me. I own the vehicle. While I own the vehicle, it's covered Australia-wide. And we're taking the vehicle to 4.2 and 7.4 GCM.
Yeah,
I get that right?
Yeah, spot on, mate.
Yes. So look, it's just a simpler way to do it, and it's really not that much dearer or harder at all.
Yeah, that's it. And a lot of people think that, you know, once the vehicle's registered, you can't actually do a GVM or a GCM
Yes,
upgrade.
that's right.
Customers ask us all the time.
Yep.
The fact is, we can do it legally, and we get it sorted.
So yes, you can definitely do GVM, and only really levels, unless you spend 40 grand with someone like J-Max or go really extreme. It's really only levels that do the GCM upgrade part, which is probably the most important for anyone towing a big caravan out there.
Yeah.
There's no point having a massive GVM and then your
then you
GVM
can't
is
tow.
useless.
That's right.
Yeah. I hope we've answered the questions and the myths around the GVM, GCM. Sol's taught me a lot about this. I know I've taken the limelight like I know all this. The only reason I know is because of Sol and the guys here at All 4x4 Spares. So we probably should let them do their work and we'll go and have a beer.
Beautiful. Let's roof in.
Cheers. We all like camping under a big old shady tree, but it is very hard to keep your batteries charged when all your solar panels are in the shade. Today, we can show you the solution. So if you've got a fixed solar panel on your wagon, ute, or even your camper or caravan, why not attach them using the quick fit solar clip so you can move your solar panel to the sun and not your whole camp. We've personally tested these brackets on some of Australia's toughest roads, covering a total of 60,000 kilometres. For more information, guys, visit smarttouringsystems.com.au.
Okay, brace yourself.
Yes.
We're into the gentleman's club now.
Righto, does Megan have to stay outside?
Oh, maybe.
Who do we have here?
Hello there. My name's Peter Haylock.
Peter
Good to-
Haylock, the founder of All 4x4.
Yes, co-owner with my wife Carol.
Now, I hear this is the man cave. Is Megan allowed in here?
Of course she is. Excuse the SU fuel pump and the model Land Rover and the Gorilla Glue.
So this is where it all began, mate, really?
Well, it started at home.
Yes.
45 years ago. Just as an interest, I bought a Land Rover, needed to repair it. We had a dirt floor, and there, that's all at the house. And I used to buy parts. I'd travel around and I'd buy parts for it and fix it. And then I'd get to know other people. They'd want bits and pieces, and it just grew and grew and grew.
So now there is a Land Rover joke there, isn't there?
Right.
That a parts business grows out of owning a Land Rover?
Yes, you're certainly right there. And mainly for the fact that in those days, a lot of people owned a Land Rover as their first vehicle, now, or a four-wheel drive as their first vehicle. And particularly in those days, they were quite rough.
Yes.
But you had it as a first vehicle. So you had to have it mobile and going all the time. And parts were expensive, hard to get. And I had a sourcing. I was chasing and getting the parts. So more and more people came round. And more, it said, enough for me and my wife to say we'll go full-time doing it. And we started just the two of us, rebuilding gearboxes and selling parts.
So if you don't mind me asking, what year was that?
About 1978, 79.
Yes.
You may not have been born.
No, I definitely wasn't. 84 model here, mate.
And then in 1985, we made a decision to approach the bank for a loan to buy a building. We bought a building. And then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So what do I have here? If you're wondering what this is, just my toys and things. I love bits and pieces. I live in I'm like the hoarders, and the America that show the pickers.
Yeah,
you know,
yes.
I go round and I see things and I like.
I think there's a bit of that in me.
Is there?
You can't drive in on an outback road and looking down the side streets and behind houses and going, oh, that'd be good. And I think, I've missed my calling with that myself.
Yesterday my wife and I went on the train to Sydney. Hadn't been on for 30 years on the train, but all I could do was look out the window and look in people's yard. What have they got? They've got one of their but I'm not sure where I am anyway to not come back.
Yes.
But we still do that. We still, even when we go overseas, and that's usually to look for parts, we're still looking around junkyards, places where there could be parts. Still at our age, that's our interest and enjoyment.
Yeah, I think that, and there's another element to this which we spoke to the guys at the junkyard, which there's another episode coming out on the junkyard.
Yeah.
It's quite a green industry in the respect that is always looking to recycle and reuse things.
Always, in the old days, it was buy a vehicle and it would just sit there and take bits off it.
Yep.
Now it's completely different. Those days, for not least health and safety, pollution, environment, you can't do the things that probably we used to do.
Yes.
And it's a wonder in the old days, I used to do it at home, it's a wonder the neighbours didn't go mad. And they probably did go mad anyway.
Yeah.
But we would sell the parts off it. But still I get a great kick out of finding old parts.
Yep.
And looking for them, and new old parts. That's one of the secrets of it, looking for new old parts.
Yeah. Things that are really getting hard to find.
Yes, hard to find.
Yeah.
In fact, I've got to say, probably on our holidays at our age, my wife and I should be sitting on a cruise going around the Pacific or somewhere like that. Instead, we're in Britain in some back paddock in the wet.
Yeah.
And she's passing me spanners to take things off so we can ship them back.
Yes.
And so in our suitcases, instead of bringing back clothes and toys for the grandkids, we've got wheel spanners and nuts and bolts and stuff like that.
Me and Megan just put together the rear diff housing in '79 on our wedding anniversary, so I'm a pretty lucky guy myself, mate. Yeah. What in here, really, pick a few things, what's really special in here?
The thing that you can't see it round here, is a Land Rover collection. I've been collecting models for Land Rovers, and here's more, and there's more downstairs. They're all meant to be itemized and put down properly, but you can see the way I dress as the managing director. I tend to be not as good on sorting things like that. I much prefer to be in the workshop. My hobby became the business.
Yes.
And the business is my hobby.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
Yeah,
It's
that's awesome,
fun.
mate.
Yeah.
Congratulations, anyway.
Right.
It's a credit to you.
And thanks for
giving us your time, mate.
All right.
Legend.
That's it.
Cheers.
Thanks to both
Well
of you.
done.
Righto, I've got this cool little piece of paper in my hand that makes this truck finally fully legal this time.
Correct.
So, am I correct in saying that the engineer not only passed the GVM, GCM, but also the diff housing and the fuel tank?
Correct, yeah. So he signed off on everything, which will be on the engineer certificate.
Yep.
It'll state your GVM, your GCM, long range tank will be on there, and you do his diff, so you're legal.
So for me, the price that's involved in getting this done, to have all that fully legal, plus it's a lift kit, you'd be surprised how actually cost effective it is. So yeah, if you were ever to get pulled up by the police, everything on the car is fully engineered. So we saw the GVM, GCM go in. Was there anything after that you had to do? Hey. We're in a workshop, it's supposed to be noisy.
Yeah, so we've done a brake test, which has passed. Put it over the weighbridge so we know what weights we have on the front and rear axles.
Yep.
And the engineer's done his side of things, so we're good to go.
There's one thing to note there, the ute has actually grown by 200 kilos in weight since I picked it up from Toyota, and all we've done is wheels, tyres, the suspension and the long range tank, which is empty. So this is a really important reason why you need a GVM and GCM upgrade, especially on a vehicle like this that's then going to have a tray, a canopy and potentially lots of tow ball weight. The weights really get out of hand fast.
Yep. And what you will find is once you do load up this vehicle, now that it has that GVM suspension kit under it, it will feel a lot more stable and a lot more safe while you're driving.
Yes, and it definitely does. Having previously owned one, it's 100% worth it. Again, I can't reiterate the fact that having all that engineering done, a lift kit and the GVM, GCM upgrade, it is actually one of the better value mods we'll do to this thing. Out of all the things Toyota did wrong, that's not really their fault, that one. That is, most cars are overloaded on the road.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, it's time for us to go home. I really appreciate our time down here, mate.
No worries,
and,
mate.
Thanks for the work.
Thank you.
Thanks for the expertise.
Happy days, mate. Glad we could help.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers.